This is a production of WKNO Memphis. Production funding for Sports Files is made possible in part by
Infinity of Memphis has moved to Germantown Road, just half-mile north of Wolf Chase Galleria, and is proud to support WKNO for its quality broadcasting and service to our community. Quality and service? No wonder Infinity of Memphis feels at home on WKNO.
the WKNO Production Fund, the WKNO Endowment Fund, and by viewers like you. Thank you.
Coming up tonight on Sports Files, we'll preview the upcoming Ole Miss Rebels football season, and we'll do so with three former Memphis Prep standouts: Jalen Walton, Mark Dotson, and Jordan Wilkins. We are less than 2 weeks away from the start of the college football season, and down in Oxford, Mississippi, the Ole Miss Rebels are working hard to prepare. The Rebs are ranked in the preseason coaches poll, and the expectations are pretty lofty. The issue is, and let's say this all together, they play in the best division in the most competitive conference in college football. In any case, head coach Hugh Freeze and his squad will have plenty of opportunities to live up to their loftier expectations, beginning with their showdown against Boise State on Thursday night, August 28th in Atlanta. And it's imperative the Rebels get out of the gate quickly, especially with Goliaths like Alabama, Auburn, and LSU waiting in the wings. The Rebels may have an advantage on some opponents just for the mere fact they returned their starting quarterback from a season ago. And Bo Wallace is as healthy as he's been since arriving in Oxford. But while the Rebs' quarterback job has never been in question, it's a different story in the running game, where there's a plethora of talent at running backs. And Freeze has said he feels comfortable using any of his backs, including a trio who happen to prep in Memphis. Today, I go one-on-one with former Ridgeway product Jalen Walton, Whitehaven alum Mark Dotson, and former St. Benedict standout Jordan Wilkins, as they all look to make an impact on what could be a special year for the Rebels. It's all next on Sports Files. Jalen, great to see you again. How you been?
I've been good. How you been?
I've been fantastic. I know last year was a good breakout year for you with the Rebels getting a bunch of playing time and coming through big time, and now they're going to depend a lot more on you this year. Talk about having that bigger role this year with the team.
This role this year is definitely going to be a great experience for me because I'm competing for the starting spot, and I'm just pretty much on the field, just catching the ball or getting a handoff out the backfield or in the return game. I'm on the field to make a play for my team.
What's it been like for you so far, your experience at Ole Miss?
Oh, it's been great. It's definitely one I'm going to remember, throughout my whole life. This probably be the best experience that I've had so far.
You play under Coach Hugh Freeze, of course, and he started back in Memphis as a high school coach and coached at Briarcrest Christian. What is it like to play under Hugh?
It's as far as him, being a good man, him believing in God, with his faith in God, I think it's awesome, because he brings a lot of character to the team and he gives us a lot of motivation.
What is it about running backs coming out of Memphis? Mark Dotson, Jordan Wilkins, part of this roster, yourself. What's in the water over there that you produce? Man. They produce so many great running backs.
Just competition. Just working hard. Trying to be the best running back. Memphis is real small, so if you pretty much the best running back, you have others coming up after you trying to be just as good or if not better than you.
Your decision coming out of Ridgeway, was it a slam dunk? It was Ole Miss, or you were looking at a number of different schools?
It was at first I had my options, pretty wide open, but after I built a relationship with Coach Nutt, it was a definitely slam dunk, and then once he got dismissed, I kind of opened up my options, and then I finally got to sit down and meet Coach Freeze, and then me and Coach Nick had a pretty good relationship. So with him staying, that pretty much kind of settled my commitment.
So you looked at all your options. There was a chance if it didn't work out and you didn't have that good conversation that you could have transferred, but I know you stayed, and I know you're happy about that decision.
Right, yes, sir.
So what is it that you bring to the table? When people come to watch Ole Miss play and they see Jalen Walton out in the field, what are you bringing?
I'm a spark. I'm definitely a player who can take it to the end zone at any time. Just catching the pass out the backfield or just giving a handoff or in the return game. I kind of want to be you know the guy that everybody got to hold their breath because anything can happen whenever I touch the ball.
And how fun is it to play for this type of an offense?
Oh, it's real fun. You know, you just spread it out. You know, it's a lot of different roles as far as, you know, being out in the slot, you know, being out as the wide receiver, you know, being inside the backfield, outside the backfield, you know, and also in the return game. I mean, it's really fun. Give
me the breakdown of your quarterback, Bo Wallace, one of the veteran quarterbacks coming back in this league.
My honest opinion of Bo, you know, he definitely been working hard. You know, this summer he has definitely led our offense to being, you know, a great offense in the league. And I think this year, you know, this is senior year, and I think he's going to do great.
Coaches poll just recently came out. They have you ranked number 19 in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there's a lot of respect. How good do you feel about yourselves that you can make some big noise this year?
I mean, you know, number 19 is not where we want to be, but, you know, we can pretty much, you know, settle with it because, you know, we can build from 19 to number 1. So, I mean, you know, it's kind of hard being number 1 because you're going to go down. So, I mean, from being 19, we're going to go up.
So you feel you're actually better than 19 right now going into
the
season?
Yes, sir, no doubt.
What does it take to get over the hump in the West, the most competitive division there is in college football?
Coming out every Saturday and competing, you know, to the best of our ability, you know, preparation and practice, you know, starts at the beginning of the week to Saturday. So, you know, I just think if the team come together and just you know, give it our all every Saturday, then we'll be fine.
Jalen, thanks for being with us.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it. Jordan, great to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for joining us. Last year was a redshirt year for you at Ole Miss. What was that like for you?
It was kind of challenging. At first, I know, like, I never had to sit out for anything. And so I took it at first kind of hard. And then I thought of it as like a rebuilding, trying to work off of it. And I think it helped me to where I came from now.
So. We're coming off the broken fibula as a senior at St. Benedict.
Yes, sir.
Were you physically ready to go last year, or was it just a matter of the numbers game? You were behind a bunch of running backs and you had to wait your time?
Honestly, I tell myself I was ready to go, but I probably wasn't. I still had a lot to do because that was the first time I had been in pads since my injury was last year's fall camp. So coming from that, I had to, you know, get mentally ready for, you know, SEC football. And it took a minute, but now I think I'm where I need to be.
Ole Miss is known recently for these speedy, smaller running backs, and you have a few of those as well. But now they have a chance to go a little bit bigger, and a guy like you, again, you're waiting your time, you got some guys ahead of you. What are the game plans from the coaches and Coach Freeze to use you this year?
Yeah, they tell me whenever my number's called, go in there and give 110%, be the most physical back I can be. And I know they're looking at me for a lot of the tough yards, third downs, and stuff like that. But also they're telling me I can catch out of the backfield and everything. So whatever they need me to do, I'm willing to do it.
Yeah, you've never avoided the contact. You like the physicality of the game, don't you?
Yes, sir, I do.
Talk about the decision to come to Ole Miss, knowing that there are guys from Memphis that were coming here, knowing that they had a talent pool of running backs this deep. Mm-hmm. Why Ole Miss?
Really, this was the first place I was looking at getting recruited. And the first place I said, I was like, if Ole Miss offers me my sophomore year, I was like, that's where I'm going to commit. And that's when Houston Nutt was the coach. And after much talk with my dad and stuff and going through the process with Auburn was having changes with the coach and stuff was going on with them, I just kept feeling like Ole Miss was the place to be. And then Coach Freeze kept, you know, bearing it in my head that they have a spot for me here and that they need a bigger back, and I looked into it and talked to Mark Dodson from Memphis, and
right.
So we kind of started talking, and he kind of pushed me to come here, and so I'm glad I made that decision.
What is it about the Memphis running backs, as you mentioned, Mark Dodson, Jalen Walton, yourself, all picking Ole Miss?
Yeah, it kind of just happened that way, but I feel like we're all a complement to each other. We can all do different things, and we come together as one great, complete running back group.
Does 22 have any special meaning for you? I know that number.
Yeah, here I know it's very
yes.
special, but in high school I was number 2, and Kincaid got 2. So I was like, you know what, Coach Nick said, I remind him of Deuce. So I was like, yeah, I'll take the number. I got to wear it with some pride and, you know, be the best player I can be. But, yeah, I was happy to wear this number.
They wouldn't mind seeing a Deuce 2 coming through Ole Miss.
Yes, sir.
This team is number 19 in the coaches poll. The writers poll hasn't come out yet as we do this interview. But you're up there in the top 25. I spoke to one of your teammates that said, we thought we should be higher. How do you feel about the ranking?
That's just stuff that kind of motivates us. Being 19, I think, is a good thing for us because the higher we are, we don't have as much to prove and stuff. So now I think it's going to push everybody a little harder to be like the best we can be. And if you're like ranked #1 or something, you kind of have to maintain that. If we're at 19, we can work our way up. You know what I'm saying?
Right. How good can this team be, though? Again, you're playing in a gauntlet of a division with Bama and Auburn and LSU. You know the cast of characters. How good can Ole Miss be?
Really, we have to take it week at a time. Our potential is out of the roof. Everybody knows that around here. The talent we have is ridiculous. So really, we take it week at a time, and each game, as each week goes by, each game gets a little tougher and tougher, and we just got to stay on course and be consistent.
We look forward to seeing you out there on the field for Ole Miss this fall. Thank you so much, George.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Mark, it's great to see you again.
Yes, sir. It's nice seeing you again, too.
When we spoke last time, you were making your decision, and it was Ole Miss to go play college ball at. So a year later, what do you think about the decision?
Oh, I think I made the right decision. You know, I think this year right here will be a great year for me. I really think this will be my breakout year.
You got a taste last year as a true freshman. What was that like for you?
You know, went in the game. I think my first game I went into was Idaho, I want to say. I was kind of nervous in the inside, but I think it was pretty good to go in and get a taste of and get the taste of feel of the game speed for college football. I think I'm well prepared and going to get well prepared throughout camp for this upcoming season.
Yeah, you didn't play a lot, but when you played, you produced. You had good numbers. So talk about the difference in the speed of the game. Did it just hit you by like a ton of bricks when you first got out there in a college game? Was it that much different than high school?
Yeah, it's a lot different from high school. I think in high school you had a chance to think about what you want to do, but here in college you got to make a decision and live with it and you know, play the next play.
What has Coach Freeze and all the coaches on offense said to you about your role with the team going into this season?
They need me to be more consistent. Basically, I just need to be more consistent in practice and show them that I can do a little bit of it. I mean, I showed them, they know that I'm more versatile than the other running back. I just need to be more consistent in practice.
There's a lot of competition. Do you like that?
Oh, yeah, I love competition. I don't like anything just to be given to me. I want to earn everything. Just like I have to earn every yard, I want to earn a spot until the bus.
You have the speed, but you also have power. And it's a nice combination when you look at the Ole Miss running back stable. They have speed guys, they have some big guys. You can do it all.
Yes, sir. I can do it all. You know, I can line up in the slot a little bit, run some routes, can pass pro pretty well. I know the playbook in and out. I'm about the smartest one in the running back room, and I don't let that get to my head. I always study the playbook, and I always study what I do wrong from what I do right.
Right. What has your summer been like?
Oh, my summer's been great. I picked up about 12 to 15 pounds. I'm 202 now, so I think it's going to be a pretty good year, and I got a lot of mass muscle on me. Right,
and we talked about you being one of the stronger, one of the bigger backs because of that. Talk about your quarterback, Bo Wallace.
Oh, Bo, I think this is going to be a pretty big year for Bo. I think from the off-season workouts to 7-on-7, his shoulder is very, I think it's back to 100%, and, I'm going to show Bo in practice that he can trust me when I'm beside him in a pass pro.
Right. We just talked about the running back stable. You have Jalen Walton, you have Jordan Wilkins, yourself, all from Memphis. What is it about Memphis producing running backs?
I just think, people always say there's no football talent down south in Memphis, but I think they're wrong. There's a lot of talent down there in Memphis. Just got to go out there and get them. And I think there's a lot of good running backs in Memphis. It's just they don't get the look like everybody else.
Right. What's it like to play for Hugh Freeze?
Oh, it's an honor, I mean, I think I want to say I became very close. I was close to God, but he took it to a whole nother level because everything he do is in a Christian-oriented manner, and I respect that.
So he brings more than just football.
Yeah, he brings more than just football. I mean, every meeting he's going to talk something about, having faith and something dealing with Christian first before he starts any meeting off.
All right, how good can this team be? Obviously, the coaches poll just recently came out. rank you number 19. How good do you think you could be?
I think we can be a very good team, easily 10 or more wins, and I think we're better than 19. And we just got to get out there. And we just got to show the world, you know, and keep it rolling.
Yeah, you're not the only one who said that to me. That you think 19 is a little bit low, but again, the proof will be in the pudding. And in this juggernaut of a conference and of this division, you're going to get a test each and every week.
Oh yes, sir. I mean, 19 is not enough, and we know it's not enough. I mean, it just add another chip on our shoulder. I mean, we got a lot of big games at home, which give us an advantage. We got Alabama at home, Auburn at home, Tennessee. We got a lot of big name schools at home, and I think we have a chance, you know, to knock them big teams down.
Do you think you can be at that level where Bama and LSU and Auburn is?
Oh yes, sir. I really do think we can be at that level, as long as we just stay together and keep each other together and just not talk down on each other. You know, become more of a family. I think we can do it.
Mark, great to see you. Best of luck to you.
Yes, sir.
Talent is something you don't take for granted, and most of the time it's through hard work and dedication that someone rises above the rest. Of course, there are some who just seem to have that it factor. Adam Exelbeard is a natural. He's a talented member of the Grizzlies' high-flying acrobatic dunk troupe known as the Kings of the Court. He's also an accomplished artist whose work includes painting the biggest names in both local and national sports and pop culture. And while we know both of his passions take hard work and dedication, as I discovered, Adam makes it look easy. Well, Adam, thank you so much for being with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for coming by today.
If people go to Grizzlies games, they see every once in a while Kings of the Court, trampoline jumping, acrobatic dunking, and Elvis costumes. You happen to be one of those guys.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Tell me
sir.
about being a part of that team.
It's an absolute honor to represent Grizz Nation, be able to dress up like Elvis, you know, a local Memphis legend, and mix it with basketball in front of, you know, the best fans in the NBA, and be able to dunk with my teammates and Grizz and just do great tricks.
When did this start for you? How many years ago?
Last season was it was my third season, so tryouts will be next month, and hopefully I'll be ready to go for season 4.
How did you first get involved in it?
I first got involved, I took my dogs to Shelby Farms, the off-leash dog park,
right.
And I met Grizz, and we became friends, and we started playing church league basketball together, and I dunked once or twice without a trampoline in a game, and after the game, he looked at me and said, you know, if you can do that without a trampoline, you can obviously do it with a trampoline. You should come try out. So tried out. Took me about 2-3 weeks to get adjusted to using the trampoline and being, you know, flying 15 feet in the air. But I was good enough. They put me on the team, and season 3.
How cool was it, though? You're in front of thousands of people performing aerial acrobatics where people are standing and applauding for you, and that's you dunking.
For a kid who grew up in Memphis and wanted to play in the NBA, I would say it's probably the closest thing to being an NBA player and not being one. You know, I mean, we get introduced by Rick Trotter, probably one of the best MCs in the NBA. So there's that, you hear him, you know, we set our stuff up, we get that rush, and you know, it kind of all shuts out. You got 90 seconds to put down 3 dunks and do your thing.
What's the worst thing that's happened to you?
Worst thing that's happened is playoff game, my first playoff game, coming down, hit the trampoline, I pull a perfect around the back dunk, and my job at the end of that series is all the balls are coming back to me, and I'm supposed to collect them, go out, balls rolling, I tried to be cute and soccer style it, trip, face plant, sell out, playoff game, 18,000 people. My friends have cell phone video of it, so
It'll never go away.
It never goes away. It's still things they bring out all the time, but if you literally rewind the video 35 seconds ahead of time, it's like one of the top 10 highlights of my life of going around the back for the first time in a game.
And excuse me for laughing at your agony, okay? Players, what do they say to you? Do you ever get any kind of response from them?
Absolutely, absolutely. I can remember when Nick Calathis signed and came to the practice court for the first time, we were actually having practice. And even before he had laced up his shoes, he kind of looked at us and was like, hey, I've heard of you guys. Let me see what you got. So we probably put on like a little 10-minute show for him. And, you know, we use the practice court to train, and they're always there because it's kind of like the beginning of the season. So you'll never know who'll be in there shooting, like Quincy.
Right, they're gonna see you because you're in there practicing. So I think the players know Adam from dunking. The fans know him from dunking as well. But I think a lot of people also know him from something else that he does. Multi-talented. He's also an artist. Well, Adam, talk to me about these paintings, and when did it start for you doing this? Because it's pretty impressive.
Well, thank you. I actually started about the same time I was trampoline dunking. I actually attended Lisa Dick's Go Girl Art Night class, where it's basically like...
Who hasn't?
You know. So it's basically like a bunch of middle-aged women that are all friends. They get a bottle of wine, they show up, and she's at the front of the class, and she says, big brush, red paint, go, and shows you how to paint. So by the end, she's taught you how to paint this painting. And I just was hooked. I fell in love, and I said, instead of paying $60 for someone to teach me how to do it, I'm going to start buying my own supplies and teach myself.
Well, let's take a look at around your house, because you have pictures all over the place. Grizzlies, NBA legends, Tigers. Let's go ahead and take a look.
Come on.
All right, we moved from your living room to your dining room, and I think everybody knows who this guy is.
Obviously, Coach Pastner with Pouncer, the Memphis mascot, and then another famous Tiger, but did him in his NBA jersey, probably his most famous NBA jersey, Orlando Magic. I mean,
Penny Hardaway.
Any kid growing up in Memphis wanted to be Penny Hardaway. I mean, just the example of Memphis basketball.
All right, so we're now in your studio where it's mostly pop culture paintings here. What do we have?
Yeah, I call this the non-basketball room, but Jerry Seinfeld, one of my favorite comedians. Everybody who had a Nintendo remembers the Power Glove. Favorite childhood movie, Chunk from the Goonies, doing the Truffle Shuffle. Little Penny, another Memphis icon. Isaac Hayes, a true Memphis icon. And as a goalkeeper myself for a little while, loved Tim Howard. Playing a dodgeball league, so we got Vince Vaughn from Dodgeball.
If you could dodge a wrench, you could dodge a ball.
It's a pretty simple concept.
I think so.
And a lot of my friends, we're bad boys for life. Like through thick and thin, I try to be the best friend I can be. So painted that from the movie Bad Boys, and that's Will Smith and Martin Lawrence.
And then Usain Bolt.
Usain Bolt, fastest man in the world.
What do you do with all these paintings? Obviously, these are here today, but I know you've given away a lot of other ones. How do you deal with that?
When I get an idea for a painting, it's usually for myself. So I'll paint it for me. I'll hang it in my house. I'll have it for a couple months, and then when I'm just ready to get rid of it, I pick a charity and let it roll. And
even players sometimes.
Even players. Quincy Pondexter has a painting of mine, and he was nice enough to autograph a painting that he gave of himself that he gave to me that I did. And it's one of my prized collections now.
Let's go to another room and see some more. Well, Adam calls this his basketball room. Manu Ginobili. I hope Grizzlies fans are okay with a picture of Ginobili.
Yeah.
Looks great, by the way.
Thank you. He's probably my favorite non-Grizzly player, and if you've seen me play basketball, that would be the most comparable.
Who else do we have?
Jay Will, Larry Bird, Bino, Let It Fly Mike Miller, D Rose, newest addition to the Grizzlies, but this is his Olympic dunk of death,
Vince Carter.
Tony Allen.
Is this the biggest one you have?
This is the biggest canvas I've done so far, and Dr. J.
One of my idols.
And Bino.
Another Bino.
Another Bino.
And then you also have Shane Battier in this room, Dickie V, Dick Vitale. Doesn't Bino want one too?
Yeah. So I'm pretty excited to have another NBA player have a piece of my art.
You also have a great story here. I know that you were did a painting of Craig Sager, sideline reporter, TNT. Everybody knows Craig, who's been battling cancer. And he has that painting. You gave him that painting, and what do you have in return now? What did he send you?
He sent me this towel, and it was from all the people that helped during his recovery. And he actually called me when he got out of the hospital to thank me for the painting. And it's just such an honor to be included in such a great gift with names like Mike Conley, Kevin Garnett, LeBron James.
Wow.
And speaking of gifts, I have one for you.
This will prove to you how talented this young man is to make me look good. Unbelievable. Look at that. Sports Files with Greg Gaston. Luckily, I won a couple of Emmys in my career. Adam, that is absolutely sensational.
Well, I appreciate you coming to the house and checking out my stuff. And
I hope more people catch wind of what you're doing, and maybe there's people that will want to talk to you about getting paintings done. I think you're a very, very talented young man. We'll see you on the court, of course, for the season. And then we'll see these paintings all over town. Thanks again, Adam. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming.
Just an incredible job Adam did painting that picture for me. We thank him very much. Before we say goodbye, our condolences go out to the family and friends of two local sports figures who both passed away last weekend. University of Memphis public address announcer Ray Mullins died at the age of 66. For more than 20 years, he was the PA announcer for the Mighty Sound of the South, as well as Tigers baseball and men's and women's soccer. Also, Larry Conley left us at the age of 73. Known affectionately as the Bread Man, Larry created the Bubba Conley National Junior Golf Tournament after the tragic death of his son Bubba in 1981. Bubba was a budding golf star, and the tournament has grown into one of the largest junior golf events in the nation. And that'll do it for the show. Have a great week. We'll see you next Friday at 7:30.
Production funding for Sports Files is made possible in part by
Infinity of Memphis has moved to Germantown Road, just half-mile north of Wolf Chase Galleria, and is proud to support WKNO for its quality broadcasting and service to our community. Quality and service? No wonder Infinity of Memphis feels at home on WKNO.